that line is probably gonna be a lot closer. Probably Pistons favored, probably by like 4 or 5 in that game one. But here we are, man. We here now. We got some of the pretenders out the way. We got the Denver McNuggets. Them boys is pretenders. We got them out the way. Trailblazers. They wasn't no match for Wemby and them boys. Burna Boy and the Rockets. Them boys was frauds. They went home early. Dylan the villain, or he thought he was a villain until Shea showed him who the real villain is. Thunder got them out of there in 4 games. So this is where we are, man. We getting to the conference finals. We whittling down the teams. I'm gonna go through some of the conference semifinals we got lined up already. We got the Knicks and the Sixers. That's probably gonna be the best one. That's definitely gonna be the one that I'm looking forward to the most. So it's a good one right here. We got Knicks and Philly. Anytime you're talking, them East Coast teams up in them Northeast teams, it's passionate as shit talking. It's real fan bases. It's what you like to see when you're talking about playoff basketball. So the Knicks and the Sixers, the season series was tied 2-2. Embiid only played in 2 of them games, and there was 1-1 versus the Knicks in those 2 games. So 2-2. Philly won 2, Knicks won 2 games. The only game that all of them played in was on January 3rd. All the big stars we talking about: PG, Maxey, Embiid, Brunson, Cat, OG. The only game that all the stars played in was a game on January the 3rd in New York at the Garden. The Sixers won that game 130-119. That was the only game that all the real stars played. All the other games, guys was missing. So we seen them before play. We seen the Sixers and the Knicks play a couple years ago before. It was a good series. Knicks packed them up, got them up out of there in 6 games. That was a much different team back then. Knicks didn't have, I think that was before Cat was there, and this was a Sixers team without PG. Embiid and Maxey was there. This was the Knicks the year before they made the trade for Cat. This one it was OG, Brunson, Dante DiVincenzo, Hartenstein. So that was that Knicks team. They packed them up out of there in 6. But that was 2023, 2024 season. So a couple years ago. Obviously, both teams have changed a lot since then. So Knicks and the Sixers, man. I mean, first off, it's kind of crazy that we even got this series, right? Because Celtics is up 3-1. They flopped, blew it, spit the bit. Sixers came back, packed them up. Embiid was just too much for them. And so Celtics, first ever Celtics team to go up 3-1 and lose the series. Sixers, first ever Sixers team to win the series after being down 3-1. I mean, Embiid was sent home by the Celtics 3 times, so it looked like the 4th time was a charm for him. Good for that man. Good shit by Embiid. Good shit by Philly. Good moment for Embiid. His son was there. Those moments is real cool, man. Those moments is real cool. His son gonna remember that for the rest of his life. So that's some cool shit. Maxey averaged 26 for the series. Embiid averaged 28. PG averaged 17. That's the formula if they're gonna win. If they're gonna beat the Knicks. I don't think they're gonna beat the Knicks, but that's the formula if they're gonna beat the Knicks. Them 3 right there gotta come and show up. Pause. Them big 3, they gotta show up though. Maxey, Embiid, and PG. You already know that's the formula if Philly's gonna advance. But will that happen? I'm not so sure about that. But the Knicks coming off a dominating series, biggest blowout in playoff history. I mean, they just packed the Hawks up. The Hawks wasn't no match for them. So when we're talking the Knicks and the Sixers this year, Knicks beat them in 6 2 years ago. But that was Philly without PG, and that was the Knicks without Cat. So different teams. Embiid and Maxey was demons. We know what they're about. They was demons that series, right? Embiid averaged 33 that series. Maxey averaged 29, and they still lost in 6 to Brunson, Dante, and OG. So if you're looking at the fact that this Knicks team is much better than that Knicks team was, this Philly team is much better than that Philly team was, but the Knicks got them out of there in 6, and it just seemed like the Knicks have been a bad matchup for the Sixers. Like they seem to have their number. This year it was 2-2. But it seems like they've had Philly's number over the last couple years. Maxey always do his thing, Embiid always do his thing, but they always seem like they missing one more guy to really beat a Knicks team that's been deep for the last couple years, right? Knicks been deep, been had depth for the last couple years, and it seems like that always is the reason why Philly can't fuck with them when it really, really comes down to it. So this is a much better Knicks team. I expect VJ to struggle a little bit. This is gonna be the most games he ever played in a season. Like, he going into the second round now. He's a rookie. I think Embiid gonna put Cat through it. I think Embiid gonna do his numbers. I think Maxey gonna do their numbers. But I expect the the Knicks others to really have a difference in this series. This is a homecoming for Bridges. Bridges is from Philly. All these guys played basically in the Philly area, college, Hart, Brunson, Bridges. They all played for Villanova, which is in the Philly area. So this is a little homecoming for them, for some of them, a little college homecoming for some of them. I think this series is going to be about the others, like Shaq called them, the role players, the bench players, the others, aside from the stars. All the stars going to do their numbers in this series. Maxey, Embiid, Brunson, OG. I think Cat is going to play a little better. They're going to do their numbers. Brunson, Embiid, Maxey, PG, OG, they all going to do their numbers. It's going to come down to the others. I think that Bridges, I think that OG, I think that the Knicks bench, maybe see some Mitchell Robinson if he could keep his temper in check. I think those guys will make the difference. Alvarado, Clarkson, like the Knicks is deep, man. The Knicks is deep, and I think that's gonna make the difference. I think this is definitely a 7-game series. If Embiid plays in every game in this series, this is a 7-game series. This is not ending in 5. I don't really think this is ending in 6. I think we getting Game 7 at the Garden, Sixers versus the Knicks. Because the Knicks is deep, and the Sixers, as long as that top end talent, that PG, Embiid, Maxey, VJ, them guys is healthy, they're gonna be a tough out. They ain't, beating them 4 times is gonna be a problem for anybody. And so I think the Knicks got their hands full this round. I think this is a 7-game series. I do think the Knicks win. I do think the Knicks coming out the East. Last year I thought the same thing, and they flopped, but looks like the gods gave them a redo, and I think the Knicks is coming out the East. I think this is a 7-game series. We're going to have Game 7 at the Garden, Knicks versus Sixers, because the Sixers going to come to play, man. Sixers going to come to play, and like I said, if Embiid is healthy, this is a 7-game series. Now, if Embiid is flopping around and limping around, and, by Game 2 or 3, he looked like he on one leg, then the Knicks might end this in 5 or 6. But if Embiid is healthy and he stays healthy, this is a 6 or 7-game series. This is 2 great teams. This is basically the Eastern Conference Finals because, the Pistons versus the Cavs or the Raptors, that's going to be a nice little series. Respect to the Pistons, respect to the Cavs, respect to the Raptors, but neither of them is fucking with the Knicks or a healthy Philly, right? Healthy Philly, keyword. So whoever comes out this series, I think is going to represent the East. I got the Knicks coming out this series. I think this is a 7-game series, though. Definitely for sure. You're talking about some stars in this series. Brunson, Embiid, Maxey, PG, OG, Cat. We got some ballers in this series, and I think they all going to come to show up. The crowd is going to be into it. Philly versus New York. It don't get no much better than this when it comes to basketball. So I think this is going to be a great series. I got the Knicks in 7. But we're gonna see where it go from there. We're gonna see how Game 1 start off and where the series go from there. But I got the Knicks in 7. Let me know what you think. TM Podcast, your boy Tay.